Hi, thank you for tuning in for Training Tuesdays. I'm Aric Rodriguez, onboarding specialist with Broadloom, and today we are finishing up in accounts receivable with payments receiving and reports. Continuing on this week in accounts receivable, the first module we're going to go ahead and take a look at is posting customer payments. So from our master menu, we're going to click into accounts receivable, and then we are going to go to post customer payments. Here in Post Customer Payments, this is where you will receive or record your payments in the system, as well as applying those payments or other existing credits to any open invoices that might be existing for your customers. So when you enter the Post Customer Payments module, your screen should look like mine here. First thing we're going to go ahead and take a look at are some features that we have here in the Post Customer Payment screen. The first one is your posting branch. Uh, post post customer payments is company orientated, not branch orientated. So you do have the ability to change branches right from within this module by using this dropdown. And next to the posting branch dropdown, we also have our show history checkbox, which once you have a customer selected, you can go ahead and check this box along with it, and that'll go ahead and show you historical data for that customer. Next up in this top left corner, we have our Show Status Inquiry button. This will take you to the Customer Status Inquiry module directly from this screen. And then right next to that, we have our Find Invoice Number button, which will allow you to locate an invoice to pay it based off of the invoice number if you happen to not have the customer ID information. Moving on from here, up top, we also have our Functions tab. Here in the Functions tab, there are two different options. The first one we have is Find Invoice Number. This operates the same as the Find Invoice Number button here. All you need to do is click into it, and you can locate the exact invoice number that you are looking for by typing that in. Exiting back here, back up into our Functions tab, we also have our Add Customer None payment. This will allow you to receive money that is not tied to any specific order in the system. The way the customer none payment works, by clicking into it, you'll first have the option here to enter in a comment. Here in this comment field, you'll want to enter in a description for your customer none payment. A good example of why a customer none payment would be needed is something like getting a rebate, or again, just receiving money that's not tied to any specific job that's in the system. So our first thing we're going to do is fill out a comment in relation to that customer none payment that we are receiving. In this example, I'll pretend we went ahead and received a rebate from a vendor for our prior months. After you've selected or written in your comment, you'll go ahead and move down and select the GL account. If you happen to know the GL account that you are typing in here, you'll go ahead and type that in directly, or you can go ahead and click into your GL account button to bring up your chart of account listing to locate the account from here. Once your account has been selected, you can go ahead and hit continue. Again, once we've entered our data for your customer none payment, we'll go ahead and hit continue to move along in the process, where we can now move on to the add payment field to add the details of that money we are entering. You'll know that you are in the customer none mode with the green text here that lets you know that customer none mode is active. To enter in the payment details, the first field is the date. This does not need to be touched unless you need to actually change the date for the payment you are recording. The next field you'll want to enter in is the amount. You'll enter the amount of the payment that you are recording here. Next is going to be the payment type, which is just the drop down so you can record the payment type that you are receiving. In this case, we'll say receive a check for a $500 rebate. And last is just a reference field for a normal reference for that payment. Once you've entered in your reference field, you'll go ahead and hit your enter key or tab key so that you can get your add payment button where you can click that and finalize that process. Once the add payment has been clicked, you'll notice all fields have been cleared. The customer none active mode is no longer available, letting you know that the process has been done. Now, to also continue on with the use of this module, we can also see how to post a customer payment to an actual account. To start that process, you'll first want to enter in your customer's information. If you have the customer ID, you can type that directly into this customer field, or you can click into the customer button, and that'll allow you to choose your customer from your database. Once clicked, you can go ahead and locate your customer. And once your customer has been located, first thing you'll notice is that the AR due field is displaying the current AR due for that customer's account, or you can now use the functionalities up top for your customer status inquiry to view the customer status inquiry for that customer. Exiting back out to our screen, we can go ahead and continue on with adding a payment. Now that we have our customers selected, I can go ahead and drop down to our add payment section where we have our date field, which again does not need to be adjusted unless you really had to change the date of the payment you are recording. We'll go ahead and enter in the amount of the payment that we want to record. And we'll go ahead and record our payment type. And we'll lastly record our reference number for that payment, which is typically going to be a check number or a credit card authorization number. Once your reference number has been confirmed, you can hit enter or your tab key, which will make your add payment button available. Once we are confirmed and happy with our payment information, we'll hit our add payment button, and you'll now see the add payments button has dropped that payment down into our payments field, and it is automatically selected with a Y in the selected column. Doing this will allow us to now apply this payment to any open invoices that are present on this customer's account. Those open invoices are displayed in the middle portion where it is titled Applied Payments. Here to apply our payments, we'll go ahead and simply double click on any invoices that we would like to apply a payment to. When I double click on the invoice that I would like to apply our money to, you'll notice that the selected column now has a Y, and the new applied column shows the amount of money that has been applied to this invoice. Since this money is now applied, you will also notice that up in this current balance field, this will display the current balance of the payment that you are working on. So this is currently letting me know that of the $2,006 payment that I have received, I have applied $1,465.52, leaving me a current balance of my payment of $500.48, so that I can continue applying to more open invoices on this customer's account. Other than double clicking on these open invoices to apply, you can also select the line that you would like to apply money to, right click, and hit apply. Doing this will open up an additional screen where you can do a more detailed application of that money. What we will be seeing here are current payment details, and from here we can apply a discount, as well as apply or change the money that we want to apply as a payment. So in this scenario, we have $540.48 left to apply to an invoice that has a balance due of $540.87. So rather than living a balance of a few cents or some change, we can use our discount apply field to write that off or apply a discount to this invoice in order to get this invoice to show a $0 balance. To do that, we'll simply enter in the discount that we want to take. In this case, I'll put in 39 cents here. And now we can see with our discounts applied, plus the amount of actual payment we are applying, it will leave a final invoice balance of $0. If we are happy with that, we'll go ahead and hit continue to accept that. You will be prompted with a discount date recording. Here you'll just enter in the same date as that payment. You do have the ability to change the discount date if that was needed. We'll go ahead and hit continue to confirm the date of the discount. And now you can see on our lines applied, we now have all of our money applied to the invoice plus the discount. And there is no longer any balance left on this invoice. Also, up on the current balance field, it now shows 0 as we have applied the full payment amount of $2,006. At this point, if we are happy with all of the money that we have accepted, we can go ahead and click into accept down in the lower right-hand corner to accept and finalize these transactions. Hitting accept will give you a confirmation, just showing you a recap of the payments that you have applied. You can hit continue if we are ready to go ahead and process this, or you do have the ability to always hit no to return back and undo or make changes to the payment that you have been working with. You do also have the ability to print out a receipt showing a listing of these transactions, which would be the money applied and the invoices that this payment was applied to. To do so, you would just hit the check. You would check this print receipt box prior to hitting accept. And this will make sure that that receipt will print out. If you do not need a receipt, simply return back and leave this unchecked. We'll go ahead and finalize these transactions one last time. In final, by hitting accept and hitting yes, we do want to continue. And at that point, the payments have been posted to the customer's account, and those payments have also been applied to this customer's open invoices. Now that we've received payment, we can go ahead and take a look at some reports that this payment receiving would impact. So we're going to go ahead and exit back out of here and back into our accounts receivable menu. The first report that we're going to look at is our customer payment register. So to get there from our accounts receivable menu, we're going to click into accounts receivable reports or AR reports. And then from here, we're going to go look at the customer payment register. This customer payment register is a daily report. So what this is a report module that will display a listing of all customer payments that were received or posted in the system through the Post Customer Payments module or through either of the deposit options in quotation or order entry maintenance. So to use this module, you'll want again to clear any of the payments that have been received or cleared in your bank that day. To do so, you'll first want to use the headers to organize the data as you need. Clicking into the headers will use that header information and organize it based off of that header in either ascending or descending order. In this case, I'll go ahead and use my date header to find the payments that were posted today. and you can go ahead and start selecting the payments that cleared in the time period that you are looking for. In this case, I'm trying to clear my transactions that happened and were cleared today. So anything dated 9/3, I'll simply double click to select. I'll know they are selected by seeing the Y in the selected column. You will also get a recap of what you are selecting down below in the type selected box. I will continue on selecting payments until I have selected all payments that need to be cleared for that day. Once all items are selected in this main screen, we'll go ahead and hit our continue button to proceed. Once you hit continue, a view customer payment register deposit entries screen will display as you see here. And this is showing you again a recap of those payments that you are clearing for that day. And in this screen, the only extra functionality you have is the ability to edit the deposit date. If that was something you did need to do, in order to edit the deposit date, you can double click on the deposit, and that'll prompt an edit deposit date screen so that you can select the appropriate deposit date from the drop-down field. Once you have selected your date that you are changing to, if that was something that was needed to be done again, simply hit your enter key and then hit continue to accept those changes. Once you are satisfied with your deposit entries and have confirmed your deposit dates, you'll go ahead and hit continue. That will prompt your customer payment register report, as you see here on my screen, showing you the detail of all the payments that have been received. And down below that, you have a summary of all the payments being received as well. Returning back to the system, once a customer payment register has been created, all of that information is now transferred and viewable in our customer payment register history. So we'll go ahead and take a look at that. Exiting back out of here, in our AR Reports Menu 1 screen still, we will now look at customer payment register history. Once here in customer payment register history, you will have the ability to select all different types of filters to narrow down to the historical data that you are looking for. The default for beginning branch is going to be your branch 1, but you do have the ability to toggle branches from this screen. Next, you have your date range type field, which will allow you to select the type of date used to locate the history. You have your register option, which is going to use the date the register was cleared. The item option, which is going to use the date the item was entered in the system. And finally, you have a deposit option, which uses the deposit date from the customer payment register. Once a date type range is selected, you can drop down to the date fields to enter a beginning or ending date as necessary. And then finally, we also have a customer option, which is an optional field if you would like to look up the history for a specific customer. Once all options have been selected in your filters, you'll simply click your build button to build and display the data on your screen. In this case, me leaving all of my filters wide open, the system is just going to build a cumulative data of everything that I currently have in the system. Once you have your data built on your screen, you can simply hit print to print that historical data, or if you would like to see this data in Excel, you can hit your Excel button to send this report to Excel. That will conclude your customer payment register history module. The next report we're going to look at, returning back to our accounts receivable menu, is our payment distribution report. Here in AR Reports Menu 1, we're going to click into Payment Distribution Reports. This report module prints a list of all payments that were posted via the Post Customer Payments module. It also shows to which invoice and service charge the payment was applied. It's considered a daily report because it gives an accounting of the activity in the post customer payments module for the day, and the money posted has a direct impact on your bottom line. If you have multiple branches, a separate report needs to be printed for each individual branch, which can be used with this drop-down menu here. This report is going to print out each payment individually and shows the customer ID and the name, the payment type, reference information, the amount of the open item that was paid, the open item number, and the type of payment. It will also show the payment date, the payment amount, and any discounts that were taken, and finally, the balance of the open items after any payments have been received. When you are here inside of the AR payment distribution register, it is a simple screen where you confirm the branch that you are running the register for, and simply hitting continue to run the report. Once you hit continue, the report will appear as follows, showing you all said payment information. Returning back to the system will prompt you a confirmation asking if the report did print okay. The only reason why you should print no is if the report was jumbled in the printer or you don't have a readable copy and it needs to be redone. If not, you can go ahead and hit yes, as this report should technically be cleared every day. As long as the report printed okay and we are ready to clear, we can go ahead and hit yes. And that will conclude the payment distribution register process. Returning back to our AR reports menu, we are going to look at one more report in regards to customer payments, and that is back at our main accounts receivable menu. We are now going to look at our customer payment history module. The customer payment history module is tied to the post customer payments module. This is a record of all payments posted, and it will display in the screen for each customer's account. You're going to use this module to check whether a payment has been received from a customer or when the last payment may have been received for a customer. The display here that we're looking at is going to show the payment and the open item to which it was applied. So when you enter here in the screen, it is going to show similar to what I have. And you have your various filters to locate the data that you are looking for. You can use the customer filter if you are looking to find a specific customer data, or you can leave it blank to see customer payment history for all customers. If you are locating a specific item number, you can use the item reference number and locate that item number right here. This is also a drop-down field so that you can search by other specific references depending on the information that you are trying to locate. You do have the ability to filter by beginning and ending posting date for the payment, or you can also filter by the invoice date for the payment. Once you've selected your filter criteria, you will hit build, and that'll go ahead and build data that you are searching for so that is viewable on your screen. Once the system has built your data that you are looking for, you can print out the information if you would like by going up into your print button, or you also have the ability to send all of this data to Excel using the Excel button. Here in the print, you also have the ability to print out a specific customer statement by clicking into the Print AR Invoice and Payment Report option. You'll select a printer, and once you've confirmed your printer, you will go ahead and leave this blank to get reports for all customers, or you can print out an invoice or payment report for a specific customer. You also have the ability to toggle a date range if that is what you would like to do. And then you can hit print to finalize and print that out. Or again, if you would rather send this to Excel, you have the ability to send out this payment report to an Excel spreadsheet. I'll go ahead and exit here, and that will conclude your customer payment history again, showing you the historical data for all payments that were received in the system. And that wraps it up for accounts receivable. Thank you again for tuning in today. For any more questions or for some support, please visit broadloom.com.